share with you a cookie recipe that will save a little bit of sugar, and we're not using real flour today. We're using a secret trick I have up my sleeve for a little bit healthier version of a chocolate chip cookie. So let's get started. I'm going to start with 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Go ahead and pour that in there. And then I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. So the great thing about this recipe is that there isn't any white refined sugar in it, which I love. I try to stay away from refined sugar as much as possible. We got a little brown, but not too much. I made a cookie recipe recently with my cousins. It had over 2 cups of sugar in it, so we're doing pretty good, needless to say. Next, I'm gonna add some coconut oil. I went ahead and made sure it was liquefied. When you buy coconut oil, it's in a solidified form, so you kind of have to eyeball it, put it in a measuring cup like this, melt it in the microwave, and then you know if you need to add a little bit or pour a little bit out. So I've got half a cup right here. I'm gonna add that in. And then I'm also going to add 1 egg. So we're gonna get that out of the fridge. Now, the great thing about this recipe is that most of the items you probably already have at your house. Even though it's a little bit healthier version, don't let that scare you at all, because you probably have these right in your own refrigerator or your cupboards. I haven't had any trouble with finding any of these ingredients, which is something I love. I hate making a recipe that you have to find like 500 ingredients for when you don't necessarily have them. So, now we're gonna mix this up. Now this is the part where you get to add in your oat flour. So the perfect thing about this being already pre-measured into a big measuring cup is that you can just pour it right in. So it's easy to pour in just a little bit at a time. As most cookie recipes go, you don't want to put it all in at one time, because if you've made the mistake, as I have a few times in my cooking career, it will go all over the place. So you don't want to do that. You just want to mix it in lightly. Okay, I've got that mixed up pretty good. It's fairly moist, so somewhat like your dough. It's probably a little bit more moist than most cookie doughs because you don't have real flour in it, but that's okay. It's gonna end up tasting just fine. So here I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, also mixed with 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm just gonna mix that right in as well. That cinnamon smells delicious. Most people don't always think of putting cinnamon in their cookies, but it's a great little touch that I've found to be a kind of a secret weapon ingredient. So now I'm going to add some sea salt, and really this is just salt to taste, however much you think is necessary. I like mine a little bit saltier to contrast the sweetness of all of the other flavors that get packed into a chocolate chip cookie, but this is really up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and I've put about 5 or 6 pinches in there, and we will mix that all up as well. Now, just to give this a good little scooping out, go ahead and scrape those edges off so that you can get all that excess ingredient that may not have got right in the beater. Mix this up one more time. Okay, this looks so good. And I'm telling you, that cinnamon, it smells delicious. You're not going to really taste the cinnamon that much, but it just melts together with all of the other flavors really, really well. So last but not least, I'm going to actually take my bowl off of the beater so that my beater is not in the way. Crank this little bad boy off. Get all of the excess. This is always the best part, licking the beater. My dad always gets to lick the beater in our house. I don't know about you, but someday in my own home, I will be at the patriarch where I can actually lick the beater myself. So for today, that will do though. Now we're gonna stir in half a cup of chocolate chips. And today I'm using milk chocolate. Can't miss one. Today I'm using milk chocolate, but I actually love dark chocolate. That's kind of a new thing that I've discovered. It just has a little bit more bitter bite, but not in a bad way. It's actually really great. And so, like, once again, contrasting all the sweet flavors that get mixed into a chocolate chip cookie. Okay, got that all mixed up now, and so this recipe calls to chill the batter for about an hour. To be quite honest with you, I'm just not that patient. So I'm gonna let it sit in the fridge for probably 15 to 20 minutes, make sure it gets chilled, and then after that we will set it out on a cookie sheet and get these bad boys baked up and make a great sugarless and flourless kind of chocolate chip cookie. Okay, I just pulled the dough straight out of the freezer and it's feeling a little bit more firm than it did whenever we put it in. So now I'm just gonna use a mini ice cream scoop, and I have already buttered my pan. I have my oven turned on 350 as well. So we're gonna get these scooped out here and then we will get them cooked up. Now I'm going to stick them in the oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, let them get a little golden brown. You want the edges to be just crispy, and we'll pull them out and it'll be time to enjoy these wonderful chocolate chip cookies. They look delicious. There we go. They smell wonderful. Cook them long enough to get the edges still, whoops, a little bit brown. Get one more on here. And there you go. A great chocolate chip cookie for you and your family to enjoy with a little bit less of all the stuff that we could do a little bit more without. Have a good one. See y'all later.